Imagine if a book, lost for millennia, buried by time and forgotten by history, were suddenly found, and inside it lay a secret so deep it could transform our view of good, evil, and humanity's destiny. The Lost Book of Adam and Eve reveals more than just a story. It shows us a hidden side of creation, full of mysteries that challenge everything we think we know. Stay with me until the end of this video, because what we're about to explore together is a surprising and disturbing revelation, a secret you may never forget. Discovery of the biblical fragments. Imagine the thrill of archaeologists and researchers finally uncovering these long-lost fragments. After 60 years of frustrating searches and carefully guarded secrets, these texts reappear as forgotten pieces of a grand biblical puzzle. What exactly was hidden away for so long? Early analyses revealed references to ancient scenes from the Garden of Eden and the story of Adam and Eve, but with details that have never been made public. What these fragments reveal is an entirely new vision of Eden, a place described with such rich detail that it challenges everything we thought we knew. There are descriptions of trees, rivers, and creatures that appear in no other biblical text, as if these writings were a hidden map to paradise. Additionally, the texts are written in a poetic structure, suggesting that they may have been songs or prayers of the first humans. But why was something so important left out? Among these mysterious fragments emerges the enigmatic Book of Images, or Sefer HaTorah. This manuscript seems to have been kept as a well-protected secret, possibly due to the impact its words could have on people's faith and worldview. The Sefer HaTorah offers a unique perspective, almost as if it were a visual record, a reflection of what Adam and Eve experienced in Eden and beyond. What is the true nature of the images described in the book? Even more intriguing, researchers believe that the Sefer HaTorah might hide a concealed chapter. Could it be a new account, a revelation that would change biblical interpretation? This supposed chapter promises shocking secrets about the events that occurred after they were expelled from paradise. What could be the purpose of these words kept in silence? Was it an attempt to protect something too sacred or too dangerous to be known? Get ready, because the next fragment brings an even darker revelation. When we discover that Adam and Eve, after being cast out of Eden, wandered the Egyptian desert, we realize that their story is far from a simple tale of innocence and fall. Ancient fragments. Adam and Eve in the Egyptian desert. After their expulsion from the Garden of Eden, Adam and Eve found themselves in an unknown, arid world. The texts describe their journey through the Egyptian desert, where they faced unbearable heat and a near-fatal thirst. Imagine the anguish and despair of these first humans, deprived of Eden's perfection and thrown into a desolate land, with no water, no food, only each other's company and the weight of guilt. These writings show a human side, a suffering that is often left out of traditional stories. In this setting of hardship, the books of Adam and Eve take on even greater significance. The narrative is not limited to their expulsion from paradise. It delves into the despair and the search for meaning outside the garden. This manuscript portrays Adam and Eve trying to understand their purpose, their mistakes, and why they were destined to a life of suffering. This is a story of love and loss, where despair and hope coexist, revealing the struggle between the divine and the human. The Egyptian desert, in this context, symbolizes more than just a landscape. It's a place of testing, where Adam and Eve's faith and resilience are challenged at every moment. According to the fragments, they faced not only the forces of nature, but also spiritual forces that sought to lead them astray. Many believe that these forces represent the first temptations and trials that would continue to haunt humanity. Curiously, the publication of these texts has brought to light the cultural relevance of Adam and Eve's story across various traditions. This account enriches and even redefines our understanding of the apocalypse of Moses and the prehistoric origins that surround the beginning of humanity. What is the purpose of these specific details? Are they warning us of something we have yet to understand? These records prepare us for an even deeper revelation about Adam and Eve's experiences after Eden. They didn't just wander. They faced forces that go beyond what we know as evil. The experiences of Adam and Eve after Eden. Far from the safety of Eden, Adam and Eve became targets of the enemy. Satan, frustrated by the purity that remained in them, began to devise new ways to tempt them, seeking even more deceptive methods to destroy them. According to these ancient texts, he appeared to them in various forms, attempting to disguise his intentions, manipulating them with empty promises and memories of paradise. It was as if evil itself were determined to destroy the seed of humanity before it could flourish. These encounters were not just tests of endurance, they were moral lessons. With each temptation, Adam and Eve found themselves face to face with questions of good and evil. The pain and suffering they experienced during this time made them question human nature and the choice of free will. They began to wonder, are we like them, doomed to repeat the same mistakes, or are we capable of transcending our condition? The text prompts us to reflect on these trials and why Satan was so interested in corrupting humanity. What did he know about Adam and Eve's potential that we still don't understand? Is there a hidden message about human nature, about the power of good and evil, that the story of Adam and Eve continues to teach us? In parallel to these trials, a darker shadow was emerging on the horizon. The conflict between Cain and Abel, which would culminate in the appearance of the enigmatic Nephilim. These events marked the beginning of an epic battle between light and darkness, something that promises an even more sinister and revealing story. Prepare yourself, for the next chapter takes us to the bloody conflict between Cain and Abel, and the revelation of beings who would forever change the fate of humanity. Cain, Abel, and the Nephilim. The rivalry between Cain and Abel is one of humanity's oldest conflicts. According to the newly discovered fragments, this rivalry was influenced by sinister forces, the Nephilim. These beings, described as descendants of fallen angels and humans, walked among mortals and brought with them a corruption that deeply affected society at the time. Cain's violence against Abel was only the beginning of a series of events that would lead to a moral decline in humanity. The Nephilim, according to the texts, were creatures of unusual strength and an appetite for power. They represented the ultimate temptation, humanity's fall into a cycle of violence and ambition. Their presence on Earth made the world a place where the ideals of purity and goodness were increasingly distant. The shadow of Ganon, a mysterious and dark figure, is also mentioned, leading scholars to believe he was a leader of the Nephilim, a force spreading moral decay. This chapter reveals how the conflict between Cain and Abel was merely a prelude to a darker scenario, where the line between the divine and the profane was blurred. What led Cain to commit such an act? Was it just jealousy, or was there something more? Something we cannot see but continues to influence humanity today? Ganon and the Nephilim challenge our understanding of morality and make us reflect on the thin line that separates good from evil. As we move forward to the next topic, a comparison between Genesis and the book of Adam and Eve promises to reveal even more about the role of creation and the spiritual lessons hidden in these texts. Our next chapter will bring an analysis that will challenge our understanding of the Bible and its hidden meanings. Comparison: Genesis and the book of Adam and Eve. As we dive into Genesis and the book of Adam and Eve, we see that both have much to teach us, but from different perspectives. While Genesis offers a more straightforward view of creation and the fall, the book of Adam and Eve brings nuances that make us question the reasons behind each event. In this lost book, temptation is seen as a continuous test, something that accompanies humanity in all stages of life. These differences show us how the messages of temptation, responsibility, and redemption are complex and often intertwined. While Genesis presents Adam and Eve as characters who fail and suffer the consequences, the book of Adam and Eve adds a layer of humanity, portraying them as beings who face moral dilemmas that still resonate today. This parallel leads us to question, what is the true purpose of creation, and what is our responsibility in the choices we make?